right, guys, for this final writing assignment for this unit of language and thought, we're going to be talking about combining the ideas presented in Lakoff's article and Deutscher's article and how overall language shapes the way we think. So to do that, we want to be thinking about what is similar in Lakoff and Deutscher's articles. And at first, it may not seem like there's a ton to be thinking about, right? Lakoff's is about wartime and kind of dehumanizing the other side of war. And Deutscher's is about kind of how grammatical structures and words within a language create patterns over time. So I want to kind of just take you through some things to think about. So my first question is what is being habitually obliged in Lakoff's article? So if we think about this from ancient Greece to Iraq, the power of words in wartime, what is it that people are being told over and over and over again, almost pattern-like? So I want to just take you through a couple of verbs to point out. So we see things in Lakoff's article like persuaded. We also see the word trained. And we have to think about what does that tell us about language use in words of wartime? Does it mean that we use it once and all of a sudden it's okay to kill, or is it something that has to be done over and over again? So thinking about like the word persuaded and what does it actually mean? If you think about using persuaded in your own life, is that something that you do once? Is that something that you do over and over again? And how do you persuade someone? Okay, same thing we see trained. Trained. I don't know if you guys have ever trained a dog, but you don't do something once. So what does that mean in the terms of what is being habitually obliged? Like what is becoming a habit and obliged? What is becoming an obligation for these soldiers and or the people at home? Okay? That way we can start seeing Deutscher's article in Lakoff's article. We can start seeing how language becomes a pattern. So we can also ask ourselves the same idea that we have asked in Deutscher's of how do we see these things coming kind of in chronological order. So we could have wartime words, okay, are being used. They're being trained, so it becomes a habit. And so how does this create a habit of mind? Right? So that's the kind of the thing that we're getting at with Lakoff and Deutscher's articles is that, how does language become patterns and how do those patterns influence how we think? For those of you who, have ever played a sport or played an instrument, and we talk about muscle memory, right? You do the same thing over and over and over again until it becomes something that you don't have to think about, right? That's what muscle memory is. You swing a bat 100 times, you play the same chord or the same note 100 times. How does language create muscle memory in our brains? And then how does that influence how we think? Okay? So if you have any other questions, let me know, but that is what you will be writing about. So please reach out if you have any questions.